Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where last episode we were a little bit late to the crusade, but that's okay. We actually don't care. It's completely fine. All we gave up was a tiny bit of land to East Francia, and here's the thing. Are we truce to them right now? Yes, we are, but that's okay. We can go back after East Francia here very, very easily. And that is indeed the plan. We need to work our way out of debt. That's the thing we need to do. We can ransom this guy, or rather this lady, for 10 gold, and that's helpful, I suppose. We'll go ahead and do that, and I want to check, when can we do this? 10 years to increase our crown authority again. Okay, sounds good. So that's fine. We're going to finish off this last little rebellion that they've got going on here. Not going to be any real problem here. We are raising men-at-arms here. We're probably not going to see them anytime soon. Probably not before this siege is done, but that's okay. We're making 78.2, 79 gold per day now, or per day. That would be amazing, but per month at this point. They're sieging over here, and actually, that's interesting. They're going to be finishing this soon. You know what? These guys are rebelling. We would have to raise... Do we have anywhere over here that isn't rebelling? Would we have to raise over here? I feel like we'd have to raise over here. We'll raise up a few levy troops here. We'll see what we get. Probably not very much is the answer, but we can come up here and fight these guys if necessary. They have about 7,500 troops, 8,000, something like that. That's okay. No big deal over here, in all honesty. So we'll raise up roughly 10,000 troops down here if we have a chance. Hey, some light cavalry made it here. Speaking of which, have we got an arched saddle yet? No, we have not. That's 10 years away. Okay, so arched saddle and horseshoes and communal government are all quite important to us, as is coinage. I think hereditary rule and chronicle writing we're going to skip and go directly into the high medieval era at that point. That's the overall goal. And yeah, at this point you can see they finished up their siege up here. That's fine. We're raising up troops and we will be up here shortly-ish. Shortly-ish. We have another 12 months here and we're taking pretty heavy attrition. So that's something to note, for sure. 3,200 troops. Oh, this is plenty. This is enough. We're stopping. Up we go. We'll arrive there in 4 months, and that will be around the time that they finish this siege. But that should be okay. So up we go. And keep in mind, these are pure levy troops, but this should be absolutely plenty of those. We are above our vassal limit. I'd love to hand out like this guy. That would be amazing. What else do we potentially have? Ah, this county should definitely go into this Khanate. So we'll grant that to him. Perfect. No more problem there. We're working our way out of debt, and we will be done with that soon. Arriving in 50... That's in 50 days, and this is in 55 days, so they're just going to finish their siege here. That's unfortunate, but we do have our own siege going on down here that will get some of that back. It's a slow siege, and we're trying to get our men-at-arms there. They're definitely going to bring in their reinforcements, but we still outnumber them 2-1, and we are only 1 year in debt at this point. So that's fantastic. We're very, very happy about this. So yeah, they're definitely going to finish their siege, but we're able to respond to this in time. And hopefully we'll be able to siege this back with our slow siege fairly quickly. These guys are on their way in, but it actually took them quite a while to get started. So that's awkward, actually, for them. There's no way they get enough of a morale bump here. We do have another martial perk. We're going to take Promising Prospects. Sure. That'll be just fine. And here they come, and a lot of these troops are irreplaceable for them. So this is completely fine. Yeah. We're not going to stack wipe them necessarily. Oh, we did. We did stack wipe them, and I think we captured their ruler? Or they just have no troops left. We didn't capture him. We just got 100... Ah, landless attacker has no armies left. So we killed all of his troops, but not all of his allies' troops. Cool. So we'll enforce our demands and disband our troops. And just like that, we're making 93 gold per month. Beautiful. We can ransom off these prisoners, and we are going to do that. 50 gold, 10 gold, and finally 35 gold. Not great, but that's okay. We can transfer this guy over to the correct liege, and that is perfect. We're going to do exactly that. Okay, so we need to clean up some of the border gore up here, that's for sure, but I kind of want to punish the Pope for what he did previously. So the question then becomes, when is the truce up with this guy? 9 years. Okay, so we're going to be saving our kingdom conquest to go after East Francia. I think that's very, very clear. Yes, we will attend this feast. Yes, we will take this ransom. And let's see what else we can ransom. Actually, absolutely no one. So, to that end, let's go through our prisoners here, or rather our criminals that we can imprison. And we are going to ransom you back for only 21 gold. That's disgusting. But I guess that's okay. It's 21 gold that we wouldn't have had. We're not going to become a witch right now. Okay, we'll ransom this guy back for 97 gold. That's over 10% of our debt at this point. Fantastic. It's not even the full amount that we could have gotten from him. And we'll ransom you off for 50 gold. It's another solid chunk. And another 30 going to be here. I mean, I just skipped a bunch of these, but we'll go through these as we need to while we're in debt. Unfortunately, we can't do 2 at a time. We can only be offering imprisonment to one person at a time. So when we find one, we have to stop. It's very sad. We'll ransom this guy off for 30 gold. And yeah, that's completely fine. Okay. We're down to 582 in debt. And that's going to be worked out very shortly. Under 6 months at this rate. And we need to ransom this guy. There we go. So 71%, but it's a mayor, so that's completely fine. We failed. That's okay. Couple of cons down here, 90, 87. I don't want to roll these right now because I don't want to trigger a rebellion at this exact moment. I don't want any risk of rebellion at this moment. So we're going to ransom this guy for 50 gold. That is over 10% of our debt again. And that is great. Mayors are fine to roll. So let's see what we get here. Excellent. Ransom for 30 gold. That is, of course, about 10% of our debt. A little under, but our debt is getting quite low. So that's great. We do have a dangerous faction brewing. This is unsurprising, if I'm honest. And we'll ransom this guy off. And let's just see here. What else do we have? A duchess. Perfect. That should do the trick. Okay, what is this faction? Independence? They're actually too weak now. Ransom for 100 gold. And let's find one more. Ooh, a Khanum. That'll do the trick for sure. So we're about to be out of debt, and that is great. A lot of these guys are a little bit upset, I feel like, because low levy contributions, sure. He's not very upset about that, to be honest. They're not really all that upset, in all honesty. Okay. Cool. So we'll ransom back this Khanum for 200 gold, and we are positive in the money now. That is great. We do need to hand out another 2 titles, and we can't hand those to de jure, unfortunately. But what we can do is we can take this guy. Oh, he's in debt. Okay, that makes sense. We can take this guy and give him this vassal. There's one of them. And the others would be, like, over here. Like, they would go into maybe this kingdom, but oh, that's really a duchy. You know what? I'm going to give that, like, so. No, not like that. What is going on here? We're going to grant vassal like so. Okay. There we go. They can figure out the de jure themselves. No big deal there. So we have access to 55,000 troops. That is great. And we are going to want to continue to work on our castles over here for a little bit. We want to get some cash and get these castles fully maxed out. Let's just take a quick look at that. Yeah, we're getting very close to getting these castles fully maxed out. Very, very close indeed. Cool. So that's something that we will work on. Another thing that we want to do when we can is bump up absolute crown authority. That'll be great. And we should try to get this guy out of this faction. If we do that, there won't really be a problem here. That's a granddaughter, which isn't helpful. We do have a son. Perfect. That'll do the trick. And there we go. A lot of these people may not rejoin an independence faction either because Opinion of Us is coming up. So that's great. Now, as far as these up here, we do want to think about potentially... So war against tyranny. We do want to think about potentially declaring war on this. We don't want to do a kingdom invasion because we want to save that for East Francia to punish the Pope. But I think that we probably want to do a duchy claim like this. But I think we should hold off on that for the moment. We're not currently seeing any malices from not being at war. We do want to continue to push, and you can see over here, our Indian borders have been being pushed pretty dramatically by our vassals. So that's been great. Who knows what we'll find inside? This, could be interesting. Oh, okay. We're gonna get cash. And we found a great treasure. That's wonderful. We're actually really happy about that because that, of course, means that we can work on upgrading some of these castles. Always a great thing to do. We're going to upgrade our meadows over here to get ourselves additional gold income. We're above our vassal limit. How are we doing on our high shaman? Perfect. Not one day too soon. Okay. I don't get it, but I guess it makes them happy. There's some old Tengriism rearing its ugly head. And we are definitely continuing to expand over here. Oh, wow, look at this. There are 4 counts under us over here. This feels like this should be a duchy. And in fact, it should. We just require cash. Neat. Okay, so this is a 9.8%. Sure. I'm just wondering what we want to do about this independence faction. I mean, all we have here is a granddaughter, and this does not do the trick. I was hoping that some of these guys, like this guy, the 37 opinion of us, wouldn't rejoin. Or the 72 opinion. Like, yeah, I was hoping that they wouldn't rejoin. That's for sure. Are we organizing levy right now? Yes, we are. Okay. We're 2 direct vassals above our limit. We do need to handle this. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm not sure if any of these are in this faction. But we may just let this fire and crush them quickly. That might be the plan here. Maybe. We can now create this duchy. This is the Kingdom of Bavaria. We want the Duchy of Nordgau. There we go. And that de jure goes over here. So we're going to give it to this guy instead. And we're going to tell him he gets to be the Duke of Nordgau. 2 vassals go with. And we're going to ask him if he wants to convert. 42% chance. Let's see what he does. That does bump up our total soldier count. He would get a weak hook. Here's the thing. I accept. And then I grant him this vassal. And then I grant him to this guy. No problem. He's not our direct vassal anymore. Cool. So that'll do the trick there. Yeah, I feel like we have to let this one fire at this point with her being the leader. None of these are particularly powerful, right? And they're not particularly angry either, with the possible exception of this guy. So there is that. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I was not expecting an additional independence faction at this point, but honestly, I feel like it's okay. We would be able to crush this quite swiftly with the number of troops that they have for each of them. Well, we'd be able to crush them quite swiftly and get all of them imprisoned, and we wouldn't have to ransom them back to get out of debt the way we did previously. So I feel like that's going to be the plan. Maybe. Maybe that's the plan. I mean, we could grab things like... I mean, none of these are particularly amazing. I mean, going down the gallantry would still continue to be good, in my opinion. I think we bank cash at this point. We fight this faction. They are going to be rising up over here. We can pre-raise our troops. Where is a crossing? Over here? Okay. So we can pre-raise troops over... If I get into the correct tab. We can pre-raise the troops over here. Raise our men-at-arms. And some levy troops. We're going to need no more than 10k levy troops. And our men-at-arms. So let's go ahead and do that. We're keeping an eye on this, making sure that she is not changing who the current leader is. And indeed she is not. How long on our men-at-arms? Apparently 9 months. I don't necessarily think that's true. I guess we'll go for like 12k. If our men-at-arms are going to be late. Okay, there it is. And will not be threatened. We'll rally the troops. And let's take a look at what this war actually looks like. Easy peasy. Okay. So like I said, about 12k is what we're going to go for here. And one more tick, that'll do. In we go, and as far as our men-at-arms go, they're going to come in as well when they're done gathering. We'll see when they decide to show up. I want to check leadership over here. Wait, this is down to 8k now? It was 12k after the desertions, I swear. I guess we'll raise more, since we are down to 8k. Yeah, this is fine. I don't care. Where are our troops at? Over here. Perfect. So, I mean, we are going to fight them there. And there's enough men-at-arms. They're going to go in. Okay, and I want an additional, like, 4k in the backline. So we'll raise, like, 4k here. Cool. So you can see this is still pretty even. Our men-at-arms will be arriving now, though, and that will definitely turn the tide. Cool. Okay, so where is she located? In the capital. We actually stack-wiped them, surprisingly. Gonna group these together for the time being, and then we're going to split off... We only have the one unit of horse archers here? Guess those got unraised. Okay. So we're going to... Actually, not raise all. We're going to instead raise all men-at-arms up here. And we're going to split off our cavalry and our horse archers. And actually, this is going to be much easier to just split off the mangonels and a couple thousand levy troops like that. These guys, they are going to walk over here and start a slow siege. Cool. So, I mean, they immediately have ticking war score on us until we take this capital. Then we will have ticking war score on them. That's the idea here. We're going to get ticking war score very quickly. We have a lot of siege targets over here, so that's great. These guys have plenty. We're going to send them to start a slow siege down over here. And we're just waiting on those additional men-at-arms. They're going to come down here when they're done. That'll be in like 5 months. Sounds good. So I think we'll start sieging up to the north with these guys. That said, they could take over these slow sieges, which are going to be very slow sieges. Oh, we need a siege commander here. That would help. That'd help a lot. That's just raid, yeah. Let's find a siege engineer. I'm sure there's one here somewhere. That guy's busy. Do we seriously only have one siege engineer? We seriously only have one siege engineer. Okay, so, that's exciting. What's this guy doing? He's at war against us. Okay, I guess we don't get a siege engineer. Cool. That's rather exciting. So yeah, we're gonna... Well, they've got this 840 stack up here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send these guys down here, and I'm gonna send these up to go fight this 840 stack. So we should now have ticking war score on our side, and we have a good amount of occupation, and we won a battle. That's all very, very important. Their troop count is a little above us, but we don't care. This is completely and totally fine. These guys are going to move over here and start a slow siege as soon as our siege units arrive over here. We're at 30%. No, not... Don't go over there. We're at 30% war score right now. 37, actually. And can we catch these guys is the question. If we can, that's great. If we can't, then we'll slow siege. We're just going to slow siege. Okay. Excellent. You know what? We can catch these guys. And we're going to head over and do that. This siege will be done in 8 days. There we go. We're up to 42% war score at this point. We're going to move these guys up and let them resupply a bit. Honestly, I feel like we don't need the slow sieges. And this is just our horse archers, so they're going to come up over this way, actually. Cool. 44% war score. And no problems thus far. We're not going to have any supply issues over here either. And then we can keep sieging down over this way if we want. I want to check to see what actually... Oh! Oh. We captured her? And I hate this mechanic. We captured their war leader, but she then just leaves the war, which means that this guy took over, and all of that time is now wasted. I really dislike that mechanic. And he's all the way down here. I hate that mechanic, actually. I really do. That should work the way capturing every other war leader works, in my opinion. We can still siege over here, and this is still fine, but I strongly dislike that mechanic. Strongly dislike it. And I think the Paradox needs to change it, in all honesty. They shouldn't just leave the war. Maybe they just give war leader to someone else, but they shouldn't leave the war and cause all of this to be wasted. In my opinion. Because now we have no sieges on them, and ticking war score is against us. Which is just ridiculous, in my opinion. But okay, I guess we're going to start slow sieging down over this way with these forces. Come on in. There you go. And then we'll have these guys come slow siege like over here. This is now going to take a lot longer than it needed to, and it's because we captured the war leader, which usually in Crusader Kings means an instant win to the war. But in these rebellions, it doesn't. And I really don't like that. I really don't think that that's a healthy place for the game to be in. Regardless, it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode we'll claw our war score back. It'll be fine. I mean, there is going to be the ticking war score against us because at this point, we now need, in order to stop the ticking war score, we now need territory down here. We have no siege weapons that we can get over here because we didn't plan for this. We're going to have to raise troops down here and slow siege right here. How many do we need? About 7,000 would do. So I guess we'll raise some troops down here. And that'll be fine, but it's definitely more frustrating than it needs to be when this happens. I don't think that this is how Independence Wars should work. I really, really don't. Regardless, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode we'll finish this off. You can leave your offerings to the... Ooh, that's a lot. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.